Hello and welcome to the Ultimate Bedrock Survival Guide. My name is Lost Bobbin, and I am here to share everything I know about how Minecraft works on PC, tablet, and console. If you play on Bedrock Edition, you have found the right place. Today's episode is all about enchanting and experience points, XP, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to get right into it, because in the last episode we went caving and we got the diamonds and obsidian that are needed to make the enchanting table. We've also been breeding cows and growing sugarcane in order to get the ingredients to make bookshelves, which is a critical aspect of enchanting. The first time I ever made an enchanting table setup, I feel like it took forever to get all the sugarcane grown and all the leather collected. But ever since then, I just kind of collect as I go and breed as I go and kill as I go. And by the time I've got the diamonds and the obsidian, I also had everything that I needed for the bookshelves. You need to make 15 bookshelves, and that requires 45 books. I'm not going to do all the math, and the recipes are all in the crafting table. The recipe for the enchanting table is also in the crafting table, and I forgot, you need one more book. So you need enough sugarcane and leather for 46 books, as well as 4 obsidian and 2 diamonds. All right, let's get going. Now, I fully recognize that I just did an entire video on how to make your enchanting table and room and everything so pretty, but we're going to be a little bog standard here, because I want to get to the meat of enchanting and we can build something fancy later. I'm putting my first block 3 away from my wall, and that's where the enchanting table is going to sit. Then I'm taking the pink blocks and I'm surrounding the enchanting table. That's going to help me remember where I cannot place other blocks, or else I'll break the signal. Next, I'm going to put the white blocks in a row all around the pink blocks. And this is where my bookcases can go. The bookcases can go anywhere on the white blocks, 2 blocks high. The fact that I just ran out of white blocks kind of makes me mad, but I'm going to move on. I can put those back later. At this point, I want to put in the bookcases. So I'm going to put in a row, and then I'm going to put in a row on top. So it's 2 high all the way across the back, and then 2 high in front of that row, and 2 high over here, and then my 15th one is a single in front. This is the most compact configuration you can do. I've got my diamond pickaxe and my lapis lazuli. I've got 30 enchantment levels, and I have 15 bookshelves. I'm at peak enchantment right now. Let's see what we got. You're going to put your pickaxe in the left-hand side, the lapis in the right-hand side, and well, fortune 2 is okay. The ... means there's going to be something else. Maybe it'll be Unbreaking even? I don't know, but we're going to have to click it because I need fortune something. I would prefer to have the highest level, fortune 3, but you get what you get. You don't get upset. Let's see what we get. Efficiency 3? This is not a great pickaxe for starters, but it will work for now. So let's check this sword. I don't have 30 levels anymore, so I can't get the full 30, which was Sharpness 4. Ooh, but Fire Aspect 1 is only 17. It only requires 17 levels. Now, it's not going to use 17 levels. It just requires it. And Smite 3. You know what? That's great. And it's an early enchantment, and it's going to allow me to go do other things. So I'm going to run my other tools through here and just see if anything pops up that I can enchant, even with, even if I use up all my levels. It's not a big deal because I've got ways to earn more XP that we're going to go through for the rest of the episode. Nothing really struck me as amazing, so we're going to move on to getting some XP. Now, I have mentioned ways to get XP before, and the easiest way is killing stuff. And now that I have Fire Aspect, I only have to kill the cow once, and it'll catch fire and die, and check it out, with Fire Aspect, the cow drops cooked steak. It's a one and done situation. Let's go do some damage over here. Don't worry, I'll edit this part out. So I got a lot of cooked steak, but I only got, basically a level and a half for the XP. And that's because killing animals is only going to get you like 1 to 3 orbs. It's those hostile mobs that get you up to 5 5 orbs per kill. Another small incremental way to get XP is by cooking stuff. So when I pull out the gold, you're going to see the little green orbs, you're going to hear the little chime. It's not a lot, but it can add up. One of my favorite ways to get incremental XP is by fishing. I've got a boat, and I'm going to show you how to make a fishing rod real quick. To make a fishing rod, you need 2 string. So if you haven't killed enough spiders by now, you're going to have to stay up and kill some spiders. But that's it. Let's go find some water. You don't have to fish from inside a boat. I just kind of think it's fun. So you find a big enough body of water, and you take your fishing pole and you use button, nice button, left click, and then you wait because it's fishing. And that's what you do. You wait for these little bright blue bubbles. They're going to come anytime now, I swear. Anytime. There they are. Okay. When it dips down, when your little bobber dips down, that's when you use click again, or left click. And that's it. There's the XP over there. I'll probably boat over and go get it if it doesn't come to me. And I fish again. So last time I got a salmon and the tiniest amount of XP. Who knows what I'll get next? I'm going to sit here for a bit and then I will show you what I collected. I really enjoy fishing. It's just kind of a fun, casual thing to do here in Minecraft. And you get pretty cool stuff. I didn't get a lot of great loot this time, but that's okay. I got a wooden bowl, some bones, pufferfish, some salmon, and some cod. It is possible to fish out enchanted books as well as pre-enchanted gear, like a pre-enchanted fishing rod with lore or luck at the sea. Those are the best. And then you just switch and you start fishing with those, and then your loot changes dramatically. So now I'm going to take you back underground because I did some caving off camera and I found something amazing for getting more XP. These caves are directed on the east side of my valley. I discovered them by just sort of digging a tunnel, and then I found this giant, massive cavern. It always pays to kind of break through a couple walls if you feel like you've hit a dead end. So these bits of XP are coming because I killed a mob, and then I'm going to show you how mining some ore does not get you XP. Like gold and iron and copper do not get you XP when you mine them. But because I'm using my fortune pickaxe, I'm able to get more of the ore every time I mine it. Now the redstone over here will give me XP. So redstone and coal and diamonds and lapis lazuli will all give you XP. And fortune will just give you more per block. When I was exploring earlier, I marked all of the places that I'd found diamonds with a giant pillar of dirt and the torch on top of it. That way when I came back with fortune, it'd be pretty easy to find. So now I have fortune 2. This is not as good as fortune 3, but it still should increase the number of diamonds that I get per block. I have 2 blocks here. Let's see how many diamonds I get. I got 2 diamonds. Well, fortune's not a guarantee, I'll tell you that much. Before we get to the big prize, I have to show you one other thing that I found up in this cave, and it's the entrance to a geode. So the basalt is really hard to see with the deep slate, but if you have a good eye for it, you will spot it. And then once you remove that layer, you expose the calcite and the amethyst. Now do be careful because they're geodes are open, so they can be dark inside and there can be hostile mobs in there. We're going to break this open and then I'll show you what's cool about a geode. Doesn't look too bad in there. With a geode, we're looking for this block, the one with the X. It's different from this block. This is a budding amethyst. This will actually grow more amethyst. You can farm amethyst. Now you can't make it grow, not with like bone meal or any of that kind of stuff. It's just a time thing, like geodes. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop in here and you can see all these cool flower shapes in here. Those you can collect with a silk touch axe or pickaxe, only silk touch, and then you can use those for decoration. If you don't want a decoration, you just collect them with any old pickaxe and you'll pick up the shards. We'll come back for those in a little bit after I show you the other cool thing I found. Oh, hello diamonds. We're almost there, and I laid down a little path of redstone to make sure I could find it again. This is a dungeon. And that is a monster spawner. Specifically, it's a skelly spawner, which is my absolute favorite kind of spawner. These are identified with cobblestone and the mossy cobblestone, and you come across them kind of suddenly. I went ahead and neutralized this one by placing a couple torches because fighting skeletons is so ungraceful in video. It's embarrassing. I'm checking out the treasure chests, and these are pretty basic. They're kind of full, honestly. There's nothing super amazing other than that golden apple, but that's enough. I've got something else to show you. Just around the corner from the skelly spawner, it was another spawner. You can see the flickering lights start up as I get closer and closer. It's a proximity thing, so as I get close, it spawns in zombies. Now I left this one dark so you could see what would happen to you if you were to approach a monster spawner. They're not lit up like that last one. I left this one unlit because the zombies are stuck down there. It's a too high wall. They can't get up. All right, I've tossed down one torch and hopefully that's enough to stop the spawner. I'm gonna kill these guys and then go check. I love my flame sword, but if they get too close to you, you will catch on fire. This might be a bedrock thing. Okay, let's run in there and light the place up. All you have to do is put a torch directly on the spawner. That's it. Now it will stop spawning until you make it dark again. Finding a spawner like this is critical for getting XP because it will just keep generating monsters, but you can make yourself a really nice safe space to kill the monsters. And so then you get the XP without any damage. I'm gonna show you how to make a really simple XP farm. You don't have to do anything special. You don't have to have anything more than a crafting table and a pickaxe. First off, dig yourself a little 1 deep hole. We might go deeper later. I am winging it. And then we're going to fill in the rest of the walls because the goal here is to have just a tiny little opening for us to kill the zombies, but the zombies not to be able to get to us. So I broke one more block towards them to make a little opening. I'm going to break the torch and now they should start spawning again. And the whole idea is that they step down into that little hole and then they can't get to me, but I can kill them. Major editing note. While I was filming this, I never had a baby zombie spawn in. They're only 1 block tall and they would have fit through that gap very easily. The solution's easy. I would have lined the floor with lower half slabs so that I only had a half block opening for killing. That was a really simple design if you find a spawner but have no resources. Now, let's turn the skelly spawner into something a bit more refined. We're still very early game and I have not been to the nether, so we're still a little limited. To start, I'm going to remove some of these blocks around the spawner. In the end, I'm going to have a space that's 9 by 9 with the spawner dead in the center. This is actually really easy. You just remove all of the cobblestone from around the spawner. I'm also going to dig out the floor. It's going to eventually be 3 lower than the spawner, and then there's going to be a channel here on the right-hand side. We'll get into that a little bit more later. Before I get too deep, I'm going to put some blocks above the spawner. The reason for this is you don't want them spawning and then landing on top of the spawner. They'll just stand there. They won't jump off because we're going to have water source below the spawner, washing them into a very specific direction. So I've got everything cleared out down there. It's 3 deep under the spawner and then 9 by 9. I'm going to fill in all these walls because in the end, the chamber has to be completely dark. Now my access to the chamber is the same way the skeletons are going to flow to my killing chamber. I'll show you that in a little bit, but right now I'm building the walls. I hope this is clear to you guys, but what I'm looking at is the inside of the chamber up there. So let me break this one, and if I hop up, and then I hop up again, this is the floor I was just looking at, and then that's the dungeon. And what's going to happen is they're going to flow to the edge here and then down into that trough and then down to my killing chamber. I've brought 2 buckets of water with me because I need 2 buckets to make an infinite water source. And now I'm just going to go make my infinite water source real quick. If you remember from the farming episode, you need to make yourself a little 4x4 hole and have 2 water buckets. You put one source in one corner and then the other source in the other corner, and now you have infinite water. And I'm going to be able to apply that infinite water bit by bit over here in the corners. Water will flow for 8 blocks, and then it'll stop right at my ledge. The skellies will fall over the edge into a second stream of water and then be pushed into my killing chamber. It's really that simple. So we need to add 1 block of water to each of the blocks along this edge, and then that will make a perfect stream pushing everybody right to that lip. So the main floor is all done. I'm going to fill up both of my buckets, and then I'm going to block off this wall and jump down to that channel below. I'm in the channel, and I'm going to remove this little stair step. I don't need it, and it will change the water dynamics. I'm putting in 1 bucket of water. Now this is also 8 blocks long, and then it stops, and it drops down. That's it. They're going to land here, and I'm going to kill them. Okay, so it's not that simple, but let's throw down the crafting table and furnace, and we're going to craft up a couple things to make a killing chamber really nice. This is one of the reasons I bring wood down with me, because what I'm going to make is a couple chests and a hopper and a trapdoor. Let's get these in place. First thing we're going to put down are the 2 chests. So a double chest is really nice, and then with the hopper we're going to crouch so that we can attach it to the user interface of the chest. You can see there's a little pipe right there pointing to the chest. And then the trapdoor is going to go on top. Oops, goes on top of the hopper. This does a couple things. It reduces that height from a full block, It allows everything to flow through the hopper, but the skeletons don't accidentally fall on the hopper. We're going to put slabs above the chests, and this is important because if we put a full block above the chest, it wouldn't open. And so up above, we're going to put solid blocks so that all we have is this half block space in order just to see little skelly legs so we can kill them. Remember, the whole reason we're doing all this is so we can get easy XP, so we can do more enchanting. I'm breaking that wall I built earlier so we can access the chamber again. Now I'm definitely going to squat so don't fall in. And now it's time to break all the torches. Oh shoot. Okay, break all the torches so that it's completely dark in here. Okay, get the last one and ta-da! Already trying to shoot at me. All right, let's fill this in again because if it stays lit even from the outside here, it might not work so well. We run back down the stairs and little skelly legs. Okay, I'll kill a couple of these. I'll be back in a sec. Now that I have a couple XP farms, I have a really good use for these shards. So I'm gonna break a couple and bring them back to base with me. Here's something that's really key. Do not break the ones with the little X's. That's how you grow more. And you can't even break them with Silk Touch. The ones with the X's have to stay exactly here. And then we'll just make a farm out of this later. I have killed and bred and fished and mined and killed some more all the way up to 30 levels. So I'm back up here to do some more enchanting and teach you guys about disenchanting, repairing, and anything else I can think of. But before we do that, I'm going to use the amethyst shards and make tinted glass. Tinted glass is special because it doesn't let any light through. I like to use it on my XP farms because I like to be able to see the fire or see the mobs. It's just a personal preference, but you'll see how it works. While we're in the crafting table, we're also going to make what's called an anvil. This is important in the enchanting story. An anvil is pretty expensive. You need 3 solid blocks of iron as well as 4 just regular ingots. So it's something you can only make once you've done enough iron smelting and mining. The other thing we're going to make is a grindstone. And this is critical in the enchanting process to remove enchantments. So I have neglected to tell you how to make stone from cobblestone. It's really easy, you just put it in the furnace. But you're going to need a slab, a half slab of stone in order to make a grindstone if you haven't found one in a village. You'll probably have found one in a village by now. Just to remind you, I am playing in survival here, so I get what I get. And we're going to try with a fresh new pickaxe. And we're going to get Unbreaking 3. Let's go ahead and roll that, because maybe it'll have something else on it. Who knows? Oh, Unbreaking 3 and Efficiency 4. This isn't bad, but it doesn't have Fortune 3 or Silk Touch, which is ultimately what I want in a pickaxe. Well, let's show you how the anvil works. So I'm going to put both of my enchanted pickaxes into the anvil. And with an enchantment cost of 9, that's a full 9 levels, I could combine them. And then I'd have Fortune 2, Unbreaking 3, and Efficiency 4. It would only add the Fortune, and it would cost me 9 levels. Now, if you notice, the weaker one was on the left. If I put the weaker one on the right, it only cost me 8 levels. Now, this is not a combination I want, so I'm going to pull these out, but I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to put the iron sword up in here. Now, my iron sword is about ready to die, but if I add ingots to it, I will increase by 1/4 each time. So there's 2, it doubles by half, there's 3, it's almost perfect, and if I put 4 ingots in, it would be perfectly fixed. But this is not an ideal situation for a sword. It only costs 2 ingots to make a fresh new sword, and then I could add more enchantments, and then I could add the enchanted sword to the enchanted sword. But this is a really useful tip if you're using chestplate. A chestplate takes 7 ingots, I think, and so to repair it with only 4 all the way back to its full brilliance, it's actually worth it. Let's talk about the grindstone real quick. So we're going to put the enchanted sword in the grindstone first. And if I try and put the iron ingots in there, it doesn't work. They won't go in. So you cannot repair using the iron ingots. If I'd pulled it out of the right-hand side, it would have come out disenchanted, and I would have gotten a little bit of XP out of it. Let's put our 2 enchanted pickaxes up in here. Aha! Now they are repaired and disenchanted. So that's one of the ways you can use the grindstone. I mostly use the grindstone for two reasons. One is if the enchantment, I just don't like it, then I remove it and I try and enchant again. And the other way is to pull XP off of enchanted items dropped by mobs. I've got some more stuff to enchant. Okay, we're gonna put down a chiseled bookcase, and then I made 3 books because you can enchant books. And sometimes the enchantment that's on the book is something that you would want to add to your tool. And the way you would add it is via the anvil. I didn't need any of the enchantments that were on the books right now. I'm just going to store them in my chiseled bookcase and I'll use them later. I want to show you how to use the tinted glass. So I'm removing the wall that I put in initially around the skelly spawner, and I'm going to replace it with the tinted glass. Before I put the glass in, I want to show you something about spawners. As I get further away from the spawner, the lights go out. So I really want to show you how proximity works with spawners. There we go. See, now I've started it and stopped it. This is really critical information for if you're trying to build the XP farm. You just can't be too far away from triggering the spawner. So I'm going to put in the glass, which no light passes through, so now it's pitch dark in there again, but I can see through. I also like to see through into my little kill chamber here. That's telling me that I need to lower everything down 1. The fact that it's kind of blocking the next guy from falling down is a problem. So yeah, so it should be 3 low, not 2. I'll fix that later. I upgraded the zombie spawner to be just like the skelly spawner. And there's a really good reason for this. And it's because baby zombies actually give you more XP than regular zombies or skeletons. The other thing is that zombies drop potatoes and carrots. And because I haven't gone to a village yet, I don't have those. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to show you guys how you can gather potatoes and carrots from zombies. Oh, they drop iron ingots too. It's pretty wild. So I figure if I'm early game and just sitting here collecting XP, I might as well kill zombies. So I have a funny story. I was down there killing zombies and it was legitimately boring, and I was like, oh, you know what, I've got all those diamonds in my pouch, why am I not going ahead and making diamond armor and going ahead and trying to enchant it? And so I did that. Problem is that previously I had come up here with my 30 levels and said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and disenchant my Fortune 2 pickaxe because I bet I can get a better enchantment at this point. And so I disenchanted it and I got Silk Touch on it, and I'm like, oh sweet, I've got Silk Touch on one pickaxe and I've got the other one with great efficiency and great unbreaking, so I'll combine those 2 later. All right, I just got up here and I realized that I don't have a Fortune pickaxe because I got rid of it. But the problem is now I really need it because my kid, who's home from school, is like, hey mom, let's go strip mining. And listen, if your high schooler says, hey mom, I want to do something with you, you kind of do something with her because you've only got like a few more years before she's moved out of the house. So yeah, I took her strip mining, which means I need to show you guys how to do strip mining. And now I've got like a half stack of Silk Touch diamond ore that we need to deal with, and no Fortune pickaxe. So she happened to check the enchanting table with an iron pickaxe she had, and she's like, hey mom, I got Fortune 3 on my iron pickaxe, should I enchant it? And I'm thinking, well, why not? I mean, I've played this game so long. In the end, I only carry a Silk Touch pickaxe. I don't actually carry the Fortune around. I leave it back at the base. Silk Touch is just so much better for inventory, and if I actually need the supply, I can just bring it back to base and then break it all down using the Fortune pickaxe. So I'm thinking like, cool, all right, well, I'll throw my iron pickaxe into this enchanting table and see what happens. And lo and behold, I'm not going to get Fortune 3. It's totally up to her. The enchanting table will also give different enchantments to different players. So she's down below right now getting herself up to level 30 so that we can get the stinking Fortune 3 pickaxe so that we can break down all these blocks. She's all done. Let's see what we got. That's a stinking good pickaxe. Good job. All right, I'm gonna give her the pickaxe and the diamond ore, and she's gonna show you what to do when you've got a big stack of stuff to fortune. So I feel really lucky that I found the 2 spawners so early game. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes you really have to spend a lot of time breeding and fishing and killing things in order to get all that XP that you need to do enchanting. I also want to point out that the very first game I played, I didn't enchant anything. I was perfectly fine just using the iron pickaxe and learning how to build, learning how to navigate the world. Enchanting something that once you know how to do it, you kind of become addicted to it, and then you want all your tools just so. In the description below, I'll go ahead and let you know how I prefer to have my tools, sort of in the end once everything's said and done. But you need to explore this. You need to figure out whether or not you love or hate thorns or knockback or bane of arthropods. People really have different opinions on what they like to use and how they like to use it. I appreciate all of you that are watching to the end and liking and commenting. It really means a lot for a small channel. And I just wanted to say thank you. Bye.